I'm now going to show you how to do ABC analysis in Excel. And the reason for that is that if you have a small problem like this, you could do this by hand, but if you have 1,000 items or 5,000 items, then obviously you can't do it by hand and Excel will come in handy. So let's get started, and in order to classify the items, we need to sort them in descending order of annual dollar usage and apply the thumb rule that I've already discussed. So let's first copy these values here, and the reason for that is that we want to keep the original list the same and not alter that, and do the computations separately. Now this is annual demand, so let's correct that. This is annual demand, and this is annual dollar usage. Now when the whole text doesn't appear, you need to adjust. So you go to the make sure that you are in the cell, go to the font and change the alignment to wrap text, and that will wrap the text around for you, and you will be able to see the entire content of the cell. Okay, so now let's compute the annual value. So this unit value is unit price per unit. So multiply annual demand by the price and you get the dollar value. Let's change the font to currency, and this is because the column width is not big enough. Well, actually there are a couple of decimal places. If you get rid of that, you're able to see the whole thing. So now you copy that. Now find the sum. So that will give us the total annual dollar usage. Next we have to sort this list in descending order of annual dollar usage. Right, so we'll start with the header, okay, like that. Then you go to data, and here is the sort buttons. These two buttons are for sorting by the very first column as the key. This will be in ascending order of ascending alphabetical order, and this will be in descending alphabetical order. But we want to sort this list by annual dollar usage, so you have to click this button and make sure that this is checked. If this is checked, then our first row would be considered the header. Now we can select the column by which we want to sort. That will be annual dollar usage. Now if you want to sort by another key inside of the first key, then you can add another level and keep adding more levels for sorting. Okay, so now we want to sort only by dollar usage, so we click that, and now everything is sorted by descending order of dollar usage. And now we have to divide that into each dollar value, and that will give us percentage of annual dollar usage, percentage of annual dollar usage. So you go that divided by this. Now you have to be careful. We have to make that into an absolute reference. If you don't make it an absolute reference, then when you copy the cell down, I12 will become I13 and I14 and so on, and those are blanks, which means the denominator would be 0, so you'll get a divide by 0 error. So convert that by pressing the F4 key, and that makes the address I12 into an absolute address. The dollar signs indicate that it's an absolute address. Okay, let's convert this into a percentage and put one decimal place. So now if you copy, the I12 will remain the same, but I4 will change to I5, I6 and so on. So now these are the individual percentages. Now if you sum, this sum should be 100%, and let's make sure that that is so. Okay. All right. Now there is one more thing that we have to do. Now we need to find the two cumulative percentages because our thumb rule states there are two things in the thumb rule: cumulative dollar value and then the cumulative number of items in the list. So we need to do a running sum of this column. So first running sum or cumulative value will be just that first value. The next one would be the previous cumulative value plus the percentage dollar value of the current row. Okay, now we can copy this all the way down, and obviously the last item must be 100%. Now cumulative items is the number of items we have in the list. Okay, if when that we have 8, so if we divide that into each rank order of the item, and that will give us the cumulative percentage of items. So if you go the rank order number divided by the last item, that gives us the total number of items in the list, and once again that must be absolute referenced with F4. Change the format to a percentage. You must make sure that everything is formatted correctly. Shouldn't just simply do the work and then just turn it in. So they're all nicely formatted, and now we have the border is missing, so let's go and put the border back in like that. So when you make a presentation, it should look nicely done. Okay. Now we have to apply the thumb rule, and we've already seen the thumb rule. So here is the thumb rule that we discussed: 15% of the items approximately, and approximately 70 to 80% of the dollar value should be A. So 15 and 70 to 80% would be somewhere around here, so that should be A. This is probably A, but I don't know about this one. Okay, so when you compare these two items with these two items, if you consider this as A, then this must also be A. Well, that doesn't seem right. It will be too many A's. So we have that is the transition point for B. Now coming from down for C items, so 50% of items and 10% of value. So 50% of the items, okay, then 10% of this, that will be like almost 30% of value. That's way too many C's. So maybe this. So you see that the thumb rule doesn't give you one hard and fast answer, because thumb rule won't match, because there are two different aspects of the thumb rule and they don't match. So we have to use our judgment and make sure that whatever class that we are assigning, and it makes sense. Okay, it shouldn't just simply be arbitrary. So you should be able to defend why in the borderline cases, why you classified an item one way or another way. Okay, we should be able to defend that.